go on record and take that now, if it's ready. I don't see. I'll call the matter of Yelm versus Jason Turner. That's page 8, docket number 6, 7, and 8. Ms. Buskirk, good morning. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now, Your Honor.
We'll take your matter now. I see in O Courts a motion to reset the matter to March 28th. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you tell me if Mr. Turner is in the courtroom? I'm assuming he would stand up. I've spoken with him a few times since the last hearing, Your Honor. He just usually is always there. I do have permission to appear on his behalf, though.
You want to wait for his arrival? That's fine.
No, I think that's fine. We've spoken enough. There's been some issue with the evaluation. The agency keeps attaching the wrong person's history to it. So I think rather than having him sort it out, I just need to make that phone call myself. It's a fairly common name, so I don't know if they're confusing him with another individual. But I would like to set the matter over. We're anticipating a deferred prosecution. That's why, of course, we need to make sure it's all accurate. Well, it needs to be accurate regardless. So we are asking to set the matter over.
That's the way things go sometimes.
Yeah.
Mr. Hatfield, any objection to resetting the matter out to, I'm going to sign the order resetting the matter to March 28th at 11 o'clock in the morning. If your client does show up, we'll simply make sure he gets a copy of today's order, and we'll be sending you a copy as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Your Honor. Have a great day.
And you as well. Take care. Well, good morning. I'll defer to you for the order in which the calendar is called. We did have one council matter to
All right.
to deal with.
If we could return to the 10 o'clock calendar and call Ryan Abel.
Mr. Averill, you've been here since early this morning. We'll be glad to take your matter at this time. I'll turn to your attorney for the status of the matter.
So matter comes on this morning for a pretrial hearing on a theft charge. He is going to enter a straight plea to that charge. I've gone over a statement of defense on a plea of guilty with him, and he's just signed the form, and that's your honor to inquire.
Good morning, sir. For the record, your full name, Ryan Neal Averill. Mr. Averill, I'm looking at a statement of defendant on plea of guilty on the computer screen in front of me. Tells me you're 36 years of age. Any problem at all reading and understanding the English language? Any problem at all reading and understanding the rights you're giving up in paragraph 5? No trial, no appeal, simply a sentencing. And that could be up to 364 days in jail and up to a $5,000 fine, since this is a gross misdemeanor. You realize that. That in mind is to one count of theft in the 3rd degree, alleged to have occurred within the city of Yelm on August 4th, 2022. How do you plead guilty or not guilty? You make that plea of your own free will. Anybody make any threats or promises to you to make you plead guilty? I will find your plea to be freely, knowingly, and voluntarily made. And your statement in paragraph 11 does satisfy the factual elements of the offense. Recommended sentence, if I'm reading the plea form correctly, is 364 days in jail, but all suspended on the condition of law-abiding behavior. And I take it there's no recommendation of no fine.
That's correct.
Mr. Haverco, is that?
That's correct.
That is the recommendation. Anything further to add?
Just ask the court to follow the recommendation.
Mr. Hatfield, anything to add by way of the? Mr. Averill, you have a right to tell me anything you wish. Your right of elocution. You don't have to say anything, but if you want me to know anything about the matter, now's the time. We learn from our mistakes, or we're condemned to repeat them. So learn from this and go on to and try to remember, the effect that our activities have on other people is, if this was a store, stores know they're gonna have leakage, and so they adjust their prices accordingly, so you're not really hurting Mr. Safeway or Mr. Walmart. You're hurting everybody that shops there. That includes everybody in this courtroom. So I'm gonna follow the recommendation, all jail time suspended for a year on the condition you have law-abiding behavior. I want to thank you for your patience. Take care of yourself. Do you have any questions at all?
Yeah.
As a result of the, I see that from the docket, yes, a bail bond is posted. That is exonerated with the disposition of the case, and the bail bond company, they'll be notified. The case is. Did you pay it to us or to the bail bond? To the jail? If it's payable to us, you'll get that, it'll be refunded to whoever it was that posted it. Sometimes there's quite a lag. I don't know if we have it in the. It's automatic. It's automatic. If for some reason, we haven't, sometimes the communication lag between the jail and here, I once dealt with a case where I think it was 4 years later, got the bail release. That was for a client of mine. But yeah, we'll look into it. And if that was cash bail posted, sometimes the cash is paid to the bonding company, and they have a habit of keeping almost all of it. But if you posted that personally, it will go to the individual that posted it. And if that was a friend of yours, they'll have to, sign off on the release of the bail. I'm signing the judgment and sentence. I want you to get a copy of that at the window outside the courtroom to your left, and review it carefully. If you have any questions, give Mr. Averco a call. I want to thank you for your patience, and I wish you the good luck. Take care of yourself.
James Crawford. So, Your Honor, this is James Crawford on the 10 o'clock calendar. Matter comes before the court for pretrial hearing on a assault with 4-3 charge. Court to reach an agreement. He's going to enter a straight plea of guilty to the amended charge of disorderly conduct. The recommendation is going to be, it's a simple misdemeanor, and the recommendation is going to be 90 days in jail, all suspended for 12 months on the condition no new criminal law violations, and pay a $250 probation fee.
And I take it there's no recommendation as to fine.
$250.
$250.
Yeah. Payments hopefully starting, next month.
For the record, your full name is James Lee Crawford. Mr. Crawford, do you disagree with anything at all Mr. Haverco just said? I'm looking at a statement of defendant on plea of guilty to 1 count of disorderly conduct, amended down from assault in the 4th degree. Plea form tells me you're 47 years of age. Any problem at all reading, understanding the plea form? Disorderly conduct is a gross misdemeanor or a simple misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction for that would be 90 days in jail and or a $1,000 fine. If I accept the plea, you give up the rights contained in paragraph 5. No trial, no appeal, simply a sentencing, and that could be up to the maximum depending upon what I think is most appropriate. With that in mind, is to 1 count of disorderly conduct alleged to have occurred within the city of Yelm on March 25th, 2020. How do you plead guilty or not guilty? To make that plea of your own free will. Anybody make any threats or promises to you to make you plead guilty? I will find the plea to be freely, knowingly, and voluntarily made. And your statement in paragraph 11 does satisfy the factual elements of the offense. Mr. Crawford, I've heard the recommendation, all suspended jail time. Recommend a fine. Mr. Radfield, anything to add? Mr. Everco, anything to add?
Oh,
the,
nothing to add.
recommendation?
This was just, really kind of more of a mutual, just kind of a mutual agreement. They knew each other. He had been evicted. It was kind of the underlying text was really kind of a landlord tenant sort of
Sometimes I can read
disagreeable
between
sort of
the lines.
dispute, and it's 4 years ago, and
That, well, it's actually, Mr. Crawford first, out of order here. Anything you'd like to tell me? It was, that was, and I pretty much realized, probably what happened there, what underlay the circumstances. Unfortunately, you see things like this, next thing you know, a gun is pulled, the next thing you know, somebody's getting shot at. A lot of these, confrontations, they end in, not as well as yours is ending. This started as assault 4, gross misdemeanor. It's down to a simple misdemeanor, and with no harm really done. That's other than some bad language exchanged, perhaps, and a little physicality. Follow the recommendation: 90 days, all suspended on the condition you have law-abiding behavior. 90 days are suspended on the condition also that you pay a $250 fine, which you can pay over time. Transferring to the judgment and sentence, reviewing that. Now, as far as the fine is concerned, that can be paid $25 a month. First payment due on March 1st. That's in the form. Any problem making the fine payments, let us know and we can certainly deal with that. But sometimes it's hard to, but sometimes the best thing to do is just let things go. Just let it go. That's maybe not the easiest thing in the world if we feel we've really been wronged, but sometimes I think that's the best way. I'm going to wish you the best of luck. You take care of yourself. And I want you to get a copy of today's paperwork at the window outside the courtroom to your left. Take a look at it. And if you have any questions, give Mr. Haverco a call. Good luck to you, Mr. Crawford. Take care.
this is Ms. Garza.
Good morning, ma'am.
Sign something here.
Full name Sylvia Tina Marie Garza. Good morning.
Okay. So parties have negotiated a settlement here. Matter comes before the court this morning for a pretrial hearing on 3 charges: suspended driving third, negligent driving first degree, ignition interlock device violation. The parties have reached an agreement, that being in exchange for a guilty plea to count 3, the interlock device violation. City is going to move to dismiss count 1, the suspended driving third degree case, and they're also going to amend count 2 to the infraction of negligent driving in the second degree. So that's it. And so recommendation is on the interlock device violation, 364 days in jail, all suspended for 12 months to not be imposed so long as she doesn't commit any new criminal law violation and pays a $250 court probation fee.
Recommendation fine is to fine on the infraction.
No, I think we didn't really negotiate that exactly, but I'm assuming the parties would all agree to the typical reduction fee of about $150.
Ma'am, any question at all about anything Mr. Haverco just said? I'm looking at the statement of defendant on plea of guilty to 1 count of operating a motor vehicle without an ignition interlock when that's been required by the Department of Licensing. That is a gross misdemeanor. Maximum penalty upon conviction to be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'd be free to impose that regardless of what's recommended. You're also cited for a reduced civil infraction of negligent driving in the second degree. You don't plead guilty or not guilty to that. If you admit it, I'll impose a fine of $150. Do you admit that infraction? If I accept the plea to the criminal offense, you're giving up the rights in paragraph 5, no trial, no appeal, simply a sentencing. And that would just simply conclude the matter. With that in mind, it's the one count of operating a motor vehicle without an ignition interlock on December 27th, 2023 within the city of Yelm. How do you plead guilty or not guilty? Do you make that plea of your own free will?
Yes.
Anybody make any threats or promises to you to make it? Anything to add, Mr. Everett?
No, Your Honor, it's an agreed recommendation and, you know, she's definitely learned a lot from this process and, you know, I think she's, going to be, pretty careful in the future.
Did you have anything to add? Your statement in 11 does satisfy the factual elements. The plea is made freely, knowingly, and voluntarily made. Scarza, anything you'd like to tell me? You have a right to tell me anything you think I should know or would like me to know. Oh, wonderful. One of life's lessons. Yeah, that's sometimes we find ourselves in a hole and remind ourselves to stop digging, and then after that, it's just a process of getting it behind us. And yeah, the ignition interlock, the insurance premiums, et cetera, that all fades with time. We all make mistakes. No need to apologize for anything here. We all make mistakes. And the point is, we learn from them. We don't repeat them. And that's the most important thing here because of the horrific things that can happen when you combine drinking and driving. Activities that need to be totally separated one from the other. Follow the recommendation, all jail time suspended, $250 fine on the ignition interlock, $150 assessment on the traffic infraction. Yeah, a neg 1, you know, that's by definition alcohol related, and we don't even want to go there. I want to thank you for your patience. You've been sitting quietly for quite some time here, and hopefully you won't have to return to any courtroom for any purpose whatsoever, except to maybe accompany a friend or something. I'm going to wish you the best of luck. And again, get a copy of the paperwork at the window, and then give Mr. Everco a call if you have any questions. Good luck to you, man.
Okay, free to go. You're welcome. Mr. Satterstad?
Morning, sir.
So this is Martin Satterstad. Matter comes before the court for a pretrial hearing on a theft charge. He intends on entering a straight plea to the charge. I've gone over a plea statement with him. He signed the form. Recommendation is all suspended jail time. The city is recommending a standard $250 probation fee, but the defense would like to be heard as to the fee requested. I'm going to ask the court to consider Mr. Satterstad's, I believe, indigency in support of not imposing a cost. So,
Morning, sir. Is your full name Martin Donald Satterstad? I'm looking at a statement of defendant on plea of guilty to one count of theft in the third degree. That charges a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction to be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. Now, I'd be free to impose that regardless of what's recommended by your attorney or by the city. You realize that. And if I accept the plea, you give up the rights contained in paragraph 5. No trial, no appeal, simply a sentencing. All that gets repetitious, but I have to make sure you understand what's going on here. You've heard it a few times already, and I hope for the last time. That in mind is to one count of theft in the third degree alleged to have occurred within the city of Yelm on September 15th, 2023. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty? Do you make that plea of your own free will? Anybody make any threats or promises to you to make you plead guilty?
No.
I will find the plea to be freely, knowingly and voluntarily made, and your statement in paragraph 11 does satisfy the factual elements of the offense. City, have anything to add to the recommendation? Mr. Haverko?
I just discussed with Mr. Satterstad, the issue of the fine and asked him, what's the situation? Does he have any earnings or whatever? And he used to work a long time ago, but he just wound up having physical ailments from working. And so he's working on kind of a disability claim. And he also then got apparently into a major auto accident back in 2007. Really essentially hasn't worked virtually at all since then. And where he's staying right now, I guess, is kind of a temporary situation. So he may be, from what I understand, he's going to be told to leave where he's staying in a couple of days or so, and is going to be really in an indigent status. And so for that reason, I'd ask the court to not impose any costs.
Mr. Sad, anything you'd like to tell me? I hate to hear about somebody losing their place to stay. That's very important, especially at this time of year, to have a roof over your head. I'm going to follow the recommendation 364, all suspended on the condition you have law-abiding behavior, and I'm not going to impose any fine given your financial circumstances. I don't see any point in beating you over the head with that. Hopefully, this is something you'll learn from. Given your financial statuses, there is plenty of help available, food banks, this, that, and the other thing. That's no need to resort to this. All I can do is wish you the best of luck. I'm hoping you find a place to get out of the storms. Any questions at all, Mr. Satterstad? Good luck to you. Good luck. And again, I want you to get a copy of the paperwork at the window. Look it over, read it over, and if you have any questions, give Mr. Haverko a call, okay? You take care of yourself.
Mr. Smith? Your Honor, this is John Thomas Smith, item number 7 on the 10 o'clock calendar. Matter comes before the court on a pretrial hearing for a DUI charge. Parties have reached an agreement, that being what we call in the defense lingo, a slow neg. We're asking the court to accept a 2-year stipulated order of continuance with the conditions stated therein, all DUI related conditions. At the end of which time, after 24 months, if he complies with all those conditions, the charge would then be moved by the city, amended to negligent driving in the first degree.
Morning, sir. For the record, full name John Thomas Smith. Do you disagree at all with anything that Mr. Haverko just said? I'm looking at the agreement, the SOC, stipulated order of continuance here. And yes, we call that a slow neg for the reason that it is slow. It doesn't happen and will not happen for 2 years, 24 months. And it will only happen if you comply with the conditions that are set forth in the order you've signed, or the agreement you've signed off here. Most important to me is no criminal law violations. Stay out of trouble, especially when it comes to DUI. The reason why the potential penalties are as bad as they are is because of the number of people we kill, maim, whatever, over the course of a year in this country, thousands. You don't want to go there. The other condition is $990.50 by way of a fine. And also drug and alcohol evaluation and comply with any treatment, and get that started within the next 90 days. Also attend a victim impact panel, and whoever does any evaluation, they'll be able to assist you with that. What I'm hoping is 2 years from now, the charge can simply go on your record as a neg 1 instead of a DUI. DUI, I'm sure you know what the consequences of that are. And of course, even with the reduction here, 2 years, if there's a second offense, we're talking, minimum of 30 days in jail, and it goes up. It goes up from there. I'm going to wish you the best of luck. You take care of yourself. I want you to get a copy of this SOC at the window when you leave the courtroom. Read it over, please. Read it over and ask Mr. Haverko, give him a call if you have any questions. And as far as the payments are concerned, that's the least important thing to me, but it's something that's there. But if you have any trouble financially making the payments, get back on the docket, get yourself back in here, and we'll figure out what to do. Okay. I'm going to wish you the best of luck. You take care of yourself, and hopefully you won't have to look at me again. You take care of yourself.
Free to go. Just go to the window before kickoff. Yep.
Smith, good luck. You take care.
See, on the 11 o'clock, Mr. Cahill Williams. So we have this. So we want to make a recommendation. What do you think? Oh, so we just have to read 4 weeks, and so you need to sign. We're going to do a motion for a continuance. So go ahead and sign it. Yeah, yeah. Right, yeah. Right.
I'm looking at a motion to set
Right.
over here. I'll hear from you.
Oh, thank you. So this is Andrew Cahill Williams.
Mr. Williams, good morning. So,
Matter comes before the court on a pretrial hearing on an assault fourth degree domestic violence charge. We've been, as your honor knows, we've been setting this over really in part on the issue of trying to at some point approach the court to potentially rescind the no contact order. And the feeling has been is it would be desirable to have a recommendation from a treatment provider to that effect. He is still awaiting to commence and start into treatment. So we would just, as a matter of sort of housekeeping, and his hope is that he can get in treatment as soon as he can. So we would ask just to set it over in the ordinary course. We've submitted a motion for a continuance. There's a speedy trial waiver in there. We'd ask to set it over approximately 4 weeks or so in the hope that, treatment may commence.
2/29 or March 14th?
March 14th.
March 14th.
Yeah, and if he winds up in treatment earlier, then he can contact me.
Absolutely.
And I can,
Absolutely.
I
We can add it
can
on
get it
to
scheduled earlier.
earlier
Yeah,
docket. I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's a motion granted. We will reset. I will address that briefly. I do get this letter from the service. I'd like to read the last paragraph in it. I am aware of the family member with a strong desire for the protection order to be lifted, but I would not be comfortable making that recommendation until services have begun and progress can be determined. That's what I've been waiting for. I'm just a lawyer. I don't know about this. I don't know you. And this is a field that I know quite a bit about, but this is the expert that we're talking here. And their wheels grind exceedingly slowly. I'm aware of. I look forward to a time when I will be able to fully lift the no contact order. That time will come, as long as, if I'm reading your situation correctly, that you're serious about, hey, if there's a problem, let's deal with it and get it behind us. That's I look forward to that. I'm signing the set over order as we speak. You can get a copy of that at the window. And I hope things are progressing nicely. And yes, unfortunately, they move at their own pace and nobody else is very familiar with that. That concludes the hearing. Get a copy of the order at the window and we'll see you next time around. Hopefully it'll be sooner than the assigned date, but that's up to how fast you can get the area to move. Good luck to you. That's it.
So, oh, sure. Sure, you bet. Let's see, this is Mr. Turt. I'm going to just prepare a motion to continue here. Take me just a second. Okay.
Crystal Star, Detergent.
Fill out this motion here. So, oh, sure. Yeah. So let me sign it here. Okay, and then I'll have just 1 second. I'll tell you when to sign. Have to pull up the right dialog box. Okay, go, sign.
How far out would you like to go?
What we're working on is prosecutor and I are gonna get together and figure out if there's some way to dispose of this case that doesn't affect our CDL, and we're not sure, so we just need to kind of talk about it. And so I just asked to set it over 4 weeks or so, you know, 4 to 6, you know,
February 29th, March 14th,
whichever is less crowded.
probably the 14th.
14 is fine. Yeah.
For the record,
Three.
Crystal Star, Detergent. Yeah. They hate to see somebody upset, but these things get resolved over time. They get behind you over time. Just give it the time and pay attention to it, and it'll get behind you. You have an attorney that's very competent helping you in this matter, and he'll get things worked out. Signing an order resetting the matter to March 14th at 10 o'clock. What I want you to do is grab a copy of the order at the window, and we'll see you back here next month. Take care. Thank you, ma'am.
And there's a couple of folks I need to talk to, but we do have one fellow we could take now, John Cassavan.
Mr.
He's
Cassavan,
present, showed
I
up
didn't
late,
see you
he's
back there.
here, and so maybe we could deal with that. That was on the 9:45.
That's from an earlier calendar,
Yeah,
yes. That's a-
Yeah, I think the water-
You need to show up in court. That's, if for some reason you can't make it to court, give us a call. Let us know.
Oh, that's a suspended third anyway, so the city may have a motion on that anyway.
That's page 4, docket number 2. For the record, is your full name John Benjamin Cassavan? You were charged with DWS 3rd degree. A criminal offense is you walked in here, warrant went out for your arrest just because you didn't appear. The city has amended it to a civil infraction. If you admit the infraction, it's a $150 fine, no possibility of any jail time. If you deny the infraction, we can set it for a contested hearing. Any question at all about what just happened? Pardon?
I'm gonna get my license back.
You are getting your license back?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Start driving. Set back.
Be about the same result. That I would still, what you were charged with was what happened on December 29th. And the facts of what happened then is, don't change. No, it's, that would be, sure, we said it over, but, I don't think the city's gonna move to dismiss it. Usually if somebody gets their license back, they do reduce the charge to the civil infraction.
Yeah, this one kind of weird looking.
What now? You say you weren't driving?
No, the cops stopped my girlfriend walked up with me.
Okay. Do you want to set it for a contested hearing? We can certainly do that. Okay. That's a defense. What we'll do is, well, maybe she'll get cited then for driving. I don't know if she was the one that was driving it. So we're setting it for a contested hearing on February 29th. Language down at the bottom, totals, need to, that erase there. But you are getting your license back tomorrow. That's very good news. I'm glad to hear that. Some jobs require a driver's license. What I want you to do, go to the window, get a copy of the order setting the hearing, and so you remember when to come. That's it. And you sometimes have a habit of not appearing for court. So I want you to show up for this, okay? Get a copy at the window and then put it on the refrigerator, wherever it's going to remind you. You take care of yourself.
And so we're on the record here, and so this is Paul Reed.
Good morning,
He-
Mr. Reed.
He's item number 5 on the 10 o'clock calendar. Matter comes before the court for a pretrial hearing on a criminal trespass first degree charge. I've had an opportunity to review the police reports with Mr. Reed, and parties have agreed to a disposition on this case. I anticipate he's going to enter an Alford plea to the reduced charge of criminal trespass in the second degree. And it's I explained to him what an Alford plea is. He would agree. He doesn't necessarily agree with all the facts of the case, but he does agree that based on the evidence contained in the discovery provided to the defense, the police reports, police officer statements, and witnesses, he does agree that if that evidence were presented to a fact finder, whether it be by way of a jury or a judge sitting without a jury, and presented along with any evidence that Mr. Reed might also have to present, he agrees that were all of that evidence heard, that there's a high likelihood that a guilty finding would be entered. And because of that, he doesn't wish to contest the evidence. And the other reason he wishes to enter the plea is he wants to take advantage of the city's plea offer, which is the reduction. And I believe the city was probably recommending a $250 fee, but the defense would like to be heard to that issue, because I believe there might be a case for indigency in this case, and might be asking the court to not impose a fine.
Mr. Reed, having heard from your counsel, I would agree that I've seen a lot of people go to trial and get a result after a lot of effort and strife, get a result nobody likes, neither side. In any event, your full name is Paul, middle initial E. Reed. Plea form tells me you're 37 years of age. Any problem reading, understanding the plea form? The plea is proposed plea is to one count of criminal trespass, second degree, amended down from the first degree charge. That's a misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction to be 90 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. I accept the plea. You give up the rights contained in paragraph 5, no trial, no appeal, simply a sentencing which could be up to the maximum if I saw fit to impose it. That in mind is to one count of a criminal trespass, second degree, alleged to have occurred within the city of Yelm on October 13th, 2023. How do you plead guilty or not guilty? Do you make the plea of your own free will? Anybody make any threats or promises to you to make you guilty? I will find the plea to be freely, knowingly, and competently made. And by way of an Alford plea, I've likewise familiarized myself with the facts of the case, and there is a sufficient factual basis. And yes, accepting a resolution you can live with is much better than risking a possible resolution which would not go well at all. The recommendation, Mr. Reed, unless there's something you want to tell me, I think I should know I'm going to follow it. 90 days all suspended on the condition you have law-abiding behavior, but I will hear from your attorney about with regard to the proposed monetary.
Thank you, Your Honor. I asked the defendant, what's the situation as far as working, and, to inquire whether or not he would have the ability to pay. And I didn't realize that essentially, I didn't pick up on initially that he was basically homeless. I said, well, what's your accommodations, or where do you stay? And he said, basically, he's been living in his truck for quite some time. And he used to work as a cook some years ago for Dirty Dave's Pizza prior to COVID, and he really hasn't worked since then. And I didn't get the sense that he's happy about that. And so I think he's really, I didn't realize that he's really kind of going through a tough time and financially. So I really question whether or not he has the ability to pay. So I would ask the court to make a finding of indigency and not impose any costs in this case, and just 90 days in jail. And I would add, by the way, I think he more or less kind of concedes he's probably legally guilty technically, but I think his main issue was that he was trespassed from Walmart a couple of years ago, And his position is he wasn't stealing, but they thought he was. And he wasn't charged with it. And so he just feels like he was kind of sort of labeled and
Railroaded
mistreated,
on,
you know? And so he just, it just frustrates him, I think. And, so anyway, other than that, I'd ask the court to, follow the recommendation.
You did recommend, I wasn't going to say anything, but you did cite Dirty Dave's. Yes, that's I patronize them on a regular basis, and Paul was working there. One of the occasions I stopped by, and I was sad to see that he wasn't there the next time after that I stopped by. I'm going to follow the recommendation, 90 days in jail, also submitted on the condition there be law-abiding behavior. I'm not going to impose any fine based on your financial circumstances. I don't see any point in doing that, beating you over the head with that. Yeah, these no trespass orders, Walmart's pretty aggressive about that, and that's nothing I have anything to say about. It's their business, their store, and they conduct it the way they want to. I may patronize Dirty Days, but I don't patronize Walmart. Mr. Reed, I'm going to wish you the best of luck. You take care of yourself, and I hope you find better times ahead.
Okay. Good luck.
I'll get a copy of the order at the window, and take care of yourself. Two more clicks.
Couple more clicks. Huh?
Well, 3 more. That does it. Can we address the no-shows?
Yeah,
before we go calendar?
so on the 10 o'clock, the only no-show I'm showing is,
Candy Hand.
Candy Anna Hand. And I just
Number
made
4,
I
peach pie.
made a note to myself that, she had indicated to me at her arraignment, she didn't have a phone. And so the only way I really have of speaking with her is if she shows up at court. So I just don't have any information for the court as far as her non-appearance or otherwise. I just don't have any information, you know.
And she did get the next court date when she was here. City have a
city moves.
1,000 cash or bond.
And on the 11 o'clock, item number 2, that was a pretrial for a Jonathan Chapman. My notes reflect, I just don't have any, I don't have any contact information. I don't think he has a phone. So I just don't have a way of, I don't have any information for the court.
City have a motion?
Yeah.
So ordered, 1,000 cash or bond.
On the next matter, that's a no-show, is item number 5 on the 11 o'clock calendar, Charles Larry David Tate Jr. Now, my notes reflect, he has a number, it wouldn't accept calls, so I did, on the assumption maybe it was a mobile number, I did send a text, but I never did receive a return text. However, just moments ago, I was handed a note by the clerk, and it says Charles Tate UI at 11 a.m. There's a phone number, okay, so I'd have to check that against my record to see if it's a number I already have. But anyway, he says, the note says on his way, and he's passing by the reservation. I'm not
That'd
sure.
be the Squally coming down.
So I guess my suggestion is
That's about
if the
10
clerk
minutes,
doesn't mind,
5
just,
5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I'd ask the court to not rule yet and see if he does show up, and maybe we can take it up after the 1 o'clock.
Sure. Sure. I think that's a good thing. Although it's, yeah, it's now
Right, I mean,
set for
it's,
11, it's now.
right. I mean, I think he's already able to appear for purposes of appearing in speedy trial, but I would just ask the court to not rule yet on whether to issue a warrant until.
We'll see if he shows up.
Yeah.
Now on record, I'm going to call the 1 o'clock arraignment calendar, but first I'm going to take a private counsel matter. If you'd identify your client for the record, we can.
David Sanders on behalf of.
And his name was? Still figuring out the O courts system. Good afternoon, sir. Is your full name Oliver Michael Hurley?
Correct.
Mr. Hurley? Citation alleges that on or about January 18th of 2024, you committed the offense of driving while under the influence of intoxicants. Gross misdemeanor, the maximum penalty on conviction to be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. With that in mind, I'm going to turn to your attorney for the entry of a plea on your behalf.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We have not guilty has been entered. Set the matter for pretrial. Available dates are February 15th and 29th or March 14th or 28th.
We could take. For 20.
February 29th it is.
If I may, Your Honor, the court operating is completed.
We do for attorneys, but not for defendants. If we would expect Mr. Hurley to be here and present, but if you want to appear by way of Zoom, we can certainly have the information on the pretrial order. Mr. Hurley, the conditions of release are don't drive unless licensed and insured, don't drink and drive at all. If any officer asks you to take a breathalyzer, you're to do so. Maintain contact with your attorney and appear for court as directed. There's also a, looks like a traffic infraction issued along with the criminal citation. We'll simply calendar that along with a February 29th, 9 a.m. And the Zoom number and meeting ID number is on today's order, which I'll sign at this time. Electronic signature now attached. Then sign and get a copy of today's order at the window outside the courtroom to your left. And
We did have to sign on.
don't have to sign off on it. Just take a copy of the order and we'll see you back here at the end of the month.
Thank you.
Mr. Hurley, thank you.
Thank
So, anybody else here represented by private counsel? Yes, ma'am. Are you Ms. Fox? We will wait until your attorney gets here. In the meantime, I'll call you up one at a time. Before I do that, I need to advise you, you do have a right to have a lawyer represent you at all stages of any criminal proceeding. If you're indigent, I will appoint Mr. Haverkill, our public defender, to represent you throughout the course of your matter. In any event, regardless, he will enter a plea on your behalf today. At a first appearance at an arraignment, invariably a plea of not guilty is entered on behalf of each and every one of you. The reason for that is there's a lot of ways to proceed with regard to a criminal prosecution. You need time to review the matter, discuss the matter and your rights with an attorney, and he in turn discuss the matter with the prosecuting authority with the hope that the matter can be reached by way of an agreement. If you can't reach an agreement regarding how to dispose of the case, you do have a public and speedy jury trial right, which you can exercise at that time. If you have any questions about what you're cited for, what the penalties are, either ask Mr. Haverkill, the public defender, or myself. Is Kalia Balsita present at the courtroom? Yes, ma'am. If you come up and have a seat, I'm going to mispronounce your name to some extent. I'm quite sure. Is your name Kalia Aloha Aluna Okala Balsita? Okay. Thank you. Citation alleges in honor about January 28th, 2024. You committed the offenses of obstruction of a law enforcement officer, theft third degree, and carrying a concealed pistol without a permit. Gross misdemeanors, the maximum penalty on conviction for those charges would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'm going to appoint Mr. Haverko to represent you in this matter. He will enter pleas on your behalf, which have the effect of preserving your rights pending a pretrial conference. Mr. Haverko?
Thank you, Your Honor. Would stipulate the probable cause, ask the court to enter not guilty, please.
A plea of not guilty. That preserves your rights, as I said. Set the matter for pretrial on February 29th at 10 o'clock. Now, the conditions of release are going to be law-abiding behavior. Show up in court as directed.
Yes, sir. And before you go. Okay. No problem. Okay. All right, when you get it, they'll use the information for me, so when you get it. Okay.
Ma'am, what I want you to do is get a copy of today's order at the window outside the courtroom to your left. That'll have Mr. Haverko's contact information on it, and I want you to stay in contact with him until we see you at your pretrial date. Any questions at all? Thank you for appearing. Good luck. Gerald Burkhart. Gerald Burkhart in the courtroom. Good afternoon, sir. Is your full name Gerald Allen Burkhart II?
Correct.
I have two tickets here. You're cited for 2 counts of reckless endangerment on April 10th of 2020 and 1 count of DUI on January 13th, 2024. All those the 3 charges are each gross misdemeanors. The maximum penalty on conviction for each would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'll appoint Mr. Haverko to represent you, and he will do so throughout the course of your case if you're indigent and so request. He'll enter a plea on your behalf.
Stipulate probable cause on all matters, Your Honor, and ask the court to enter not guilty, please.
Mr. Burkhart, any questions at all? Plea of not guilty is entered on your behalf.
Do you have the phone number? Go ahead and write it down.
There's going to be some conditions of relief. Don't drive unless licensed and insured. Don't drink and drive at all. In fact, given all the 3 charges, I think no consumption of non-prescribed drugs or alcohol is probably in order here. Any officer stops you and asks you to take a breathalyzer, you're to do so.
And sign this pad. That's working.
February 29th, 11 o'clock.
Is that a date? Okay.
Stay in touch with Mr. Haverko, and if you would, get a copy of today's order at the window outside the courtroom to your left before you leave. Any questions at all? Okay. Mr. Burkhart, thank you for appearing. Good luck. Jose Carrasco. Good afternoon, sir. Is your full name Jose Luis Carrasco? Mr. Carrasco, you were cited with the offense of driving while license suspended or revoked in the 3rd degree. That is a misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction would be 90 days in jail and or $1,000 fine. Now, a number of people here today were cited with that same thing, driving a license suspended or revoked 3rd degree. I want you to listen to what I have to say to Mr. Carrasco. City may have a motion in this case. Mr. Carrasco, the city has amended the charge from a criminal offense bearing the possibility of jail time to a civil infraction for which If you admit the infraction, you don't plead guilty or not guilty. If you admit it, I'll impose a $150 fine, and that will take care of the matter. Now, if we'd set your payments at 25 a month on that. Any question about anything I've just said? Do you admit or deny that you committed the infraction of not having a valid license on your person when you were cited on January 23rd? Set the penalty at $150. The important thing to me here is, do you know what you need to do to reinstate your license? I would urge you and anybody else similarly situated to do what you can to get the license reinstated. It usually involves money, of all things. Yeah, we live in a world, fortunately or otherwise, that you have to be able to drive one way or the other if you're going to work, if you're going to function at all. So, Mr. Grosco, I'm signing an order to that effect. What I want you to do is get a copy of today's order at the window outside the courtroom to your left, and good luck getting your license reinstated. You take care of yourself. Jonathan Thomas Castillo. Good afternoon, sir. The same thing applies to you. You were cited for DWLS third on January 27th. And the city very likely has the same motion in your case as well, and just made the motion with a nod of a head. The charge now is no valid operator's license, second degree, which means no valid operator's license on your person, but with identification. You can admit that and I'll fine you $150, or you can deny it, and we can set it for a contested hearing at a different court date. Any question about anything I've just said? You admit or deny? $150 it is. Set your payments at $25 a month. And again, let me urge you to do what you can to get your license reinstated. Always a good idea to be able to drive without looking in the rearview mirror to see if anybody's following you that might pull you over. I'm going to wish you the best of luck with that. Get a copy of today's order at the window outside the courtroom to your left, and take care of yourself. Good luck. Bradley Dodge. Dodge, there seems to be an awful lot of that today. You were cited with DWS third on January 25th. Like a lot of people, I'm sure you're discovering that it's pretty easy to lose a license, but it's a lot harder to get it back. That's good. I'm assuming the city's making the same motion in that case. Do you admit or deny that you committed the infraction? 150 it is. Yeah, I might say that. When we move around a lot, and sometimes when we move, we let the post office know, but we don't let DOL know. Now, so when DOL does their usual, which is send you a notice, they said, hey, if you don't take care of this ticket, it's going to be, you're going to get suspended. And the letter goes in somebody's round file somewhere because it doesn't get to you. So always, if you move, make sure Department of Licensing knows where you are. Better yet, don't get tickets, I guess is the. Mr. Dodge, I'm signing the electronically, the order. Again, get a copy of that at the window outside the courtroom and to your left. And any questions at all, give us a call. And if any issues at all, making the fine payments, let us know. We can certainly deal with that. Good luck to you, sir, and take care. Next would be Jacob Pamoy. I'm fairly sure I'm mispronouncing your name, sir. Did I get it right or no? Okay.
Good, how you doing?
Is your full name Jacob, middle initial J, Famoy? Citation I have alleged at honor about January 28, 2024. You committed the offense of theft in the third degree. Gross misdemeanor, the maximum penalty on conviction would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'm going to appoint Mr. Haverco to represent you in this matter, and he'll enter a plea on your behalf at this time.
Stipulate to probable cause, Your Honor. Ask the court to enter a not guilty plea.
Mr. Famui, the plea of not guilty preserves your rights pending a pretrial, which we're setting for February 29th at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm assuming that if there is a conflict of interest, given the other individuals involved, that Mr. Haverco will certainly let us know.
Go ahead and sign it. And before you go, I need you to write down the phone number. Right, contact. Perfect.
Thank you for appearing, sir. Good luck. You as well. Daniel Ford. Daniel Ford in the courtroom. Come back to that matter. Is Renee Fox in the courtroom? Evidently stepped outside. Yep, I thought she had re-entered the courtroom, but we'll come back to that. How about Timothy Goins? Good afternoon, sir. Is your full name Timothy Michael Ray Goins? Citation I have alleges on January 28th, same old date. You committed the offense of theft in the third degree. Once again, as you've already heard, that's a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'll appoint Mr. Haverco to enter a plea on your behalf at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would stipulate to probable cause. Ask the court to enter a not guilty plea.
Mr. Goins, a plea of not guilty reserves your rights pending a pretrial. Sign an order to that effect. I want you to get a copy of that before you leave. Mr. Haverco will likewise want you to sign off on the order. Any questions at all? Good luck to you.
Before you go, sign here. This. That's fine. Okay. Okay, and then before you go, that's good. And then I need you to write down fingerprint. Your phone. There you go. Just go to the window before you pick up.
Mr. Goins, good luck to you. Thank you for appearing. Oh, Renee Fox. Ms. Fox, you're here with your attorney? Pardon? Still not here yet. Okay, we'll continue to wait. How about Lamar Harris Croft? Good afternoon, sir. Full name Lamar Marcel Harris Croft. Citation I'm looking at, alleges at honor about January 15. You committed the offense of driving a license suspended or revoked third degree, and by now you probably realize the city has a motion, and I see a head nod, and I'll take that as such. The charge is now reduced to the civil infraction of no valid operator's license on your person. If you admit it, it's a $150 fine. If you deny it, we can set it for a contested hearing. Any questions? What would you like to do? Admit or deny? $150 it is. Payments $25 a month starting March 1st. Now, what I want you to do is do whatever you can to get your license reinstated. That's, as I indicated earlier, that's the world we now live in. I'm signing the order to that effect. Mr. Harriscroft, I want you to get a copy of that at the window outside the courtroom to your left. Look it over. And again, good luck in getting your license reinstated. Any questions? Good luck to you. Thank you. Dean Scott Haston, I think. Mr. Haston, I apologize to anybody whose name there's a way to mispronounce a name, I'm gonna find it, so, but go ahead and have a seat. Full name Dean Scott Haston. Mr. Haston, the citation alleges that on or about January 16th of 2024, you committed the offense of hit and run attended. And it looks like you're also cited on January 25th of 2024 for reckless driving. Both of those are what they call gross misdemeanors. The maximum penalty on conviction would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'm going to appoint Mr. Haverco to represent you at this hearing, and he will enter a plea on your behalf at this time.
Stipulate to probable cause on both matters and ask the court to enter a not guilty plea.
Mr. Haston, a plea of not guilty preserves your rights pending a pretrial, which we'll probably set for February 29th at 10 o'clock.
That's your find out about it. I'll talk to you later. I need a phone number.
Grayson, thank you for appearing. Again, get a copy of today's order. Stay in touch with Mr. Haverco, and we'll see you back here at the end of the month. Good luck. Adriana Hernandez. Good afternoon, ma'am. Is it Adriana Simone Hernandez? You also were cited on January 22nd with driving a license suspended, revoked third degree, and you're probably tired of hearing about that by now, but the city, I'm sure, has its motion to amend to the civil infraction. Any question about what that means? Do you admit or deny that on January 22nd, you didn't have a valid license on your person? Do you know what you need to do to get your license reinstated? I'd make that a project in life. Fine is $150. First payment due March 1st of 25. The order memorializing that I'm now signing. What I want you to do is get a copy of it at the window outside the courtroom to your left, and good luck to you. Okay? Good luck getting reinstated as well. Take care. Oliver Hurley. Kevin Jones. Kevin Jones in the courtroom. Full name Kevin, middle initial J. Jones. Is that your full name? Kevin J. Jones? Citation alleges that on or about September 2nd, 2023, you committed the offense of criminal trespass, second degree, misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction to be 90 days in jail and or a $1,000 fine. You're also cited on September 14th, 2023 for loitering, criminal drug-related activity. That's a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty would be 180 days in jail and or a $1,000 fine. Also cited for on that day, criminal trespass, second degree, a second count. I'll appoint Mr. Haverco to represent you on those matters, as well as a third case, January 1st of 2024, criminal trespass, second degree.
Would your honor be wanting a motion to continue on the pretrial matter or?
Absolutely. Yeah, I misread the docket. The one's already set for a pretrial.
Gotcha.
If the plea, I would assume would be not guilty with regard to the new
Yeah,
charges.
as far as the item numbers 18 and 19 on for arraignment would stipulate the probable cause as to the loitering, drug-related activity, the criminal trespass second degree, and then the other criminal trespass second degree would ask the court to enter not guilty pleas. I'll compare. We need, this is on.
My apologies for misreading the docket.
So that would be 8072. Let me just do a quick,
Mr. Jones? Condition of release is law-abiding behavior. That was set on your arraignment on the earlier charge, and here you are in two new ones as well. There's some judges that would have you taken into custody with bail set. Is that appropriate in your case? Yes.
he's asking.
Mr. Jones, I'm not going to have you taken into custody, but I will reiterate that the condition of release is law-abiding behavior, and sometimes patience is not infinite.
Go ahead and sign on. We'll have a motion to continue on the pretrial matter in our
Granted.
courts here in a moment here. And we're waiving speedy trials to allow that case to be reset and then combined with the other two new matters.
All combined for the 29th.
For one single, yeah. And just in case I don't have it. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right.
Mr. Jones, a condition of release sometimes, and I think I'll impose that in your case as well, is no consumption of controlled substances without a prescription. I could order you to take a drug test today to see if you're in compliance with such a condition, but I'm not going to do that either. But expect to see you back here on the 29th of February, okay? Have a good day.
If we could just wait 1 second, Mr. Jones, before you go. So I tried to save stuff and somehow Mr. Jones's signature disappeared. So I'm just gonna have sign more one time so it gets into the system here. I don't know what happened. It just kind of disappeared. He's signing now and I'll save that.
The old court system, like every other system, is not perfect.
Yeah, there we go. I think it's good.
Far from it sometimes.
Thank you.
Shawnee Knight? Shawnee Knight in the courtroom? Good afternoon, ma'am. Is your full name Shawnee Noel Knight? Ms. Knight, the criminal citation is DWS third degree. Mr. Ratfield, by his nod, has indicated that the charge is reduced to the civil infraction of no valid operator's license on your person. You're also cited for a failure to have or display proof of liability insurance. That also is an infraction. Do you admit or deny that these infractions were committed by yourself? Okay. The insurance, that's 553. I'm going to reduce that to 150, and with the other one is 150 as well. The law is that we need to have insurance when we drive. We need to have a valid license in effect. What I'm going to ask is, do what you can to get your license reinstated. First things first, you don't need insurance. You can drive and are driving, but yeah, first things first. See if you can get your license reinstated. Any question at all? Pardon? Yes. Oh, yes. The payment's $25 a month. You'll be able to make payments on that. I'd rather have you devote your financial resources to getting relicensed. But if that our charge gets in the way of that, let us know. We'll work it out. Okay. Good luck, ma'am. You take care of yourself. Any questions? And get a copy of today's order at the window outside outside and to your left.
I think he
Ms.
said
Knight,
you're
thank
done.
you.
She wanted to know if she was done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely done, except for getting a copy of the order. Look it over, and if you have any questions about what you need to do, let us know, okay? Thank you, Ms. Knight. Skylar Kretzer. Mr. Kretzer, good afternoon. Full name Skylar Austin Kretzer. Mr. Kretzer, you were cited for sounds like there's an echo in here. Driving a license suspended or revoked in the 3rd degree, which the city is now amending to NVOL 2nd degree, which means same as everybody else. Absolutely. If you admit that infraction, Mr. Kretzker, we'll set your fine at 150 and call it good. Any questions? Admit or deny? Assess 150. And do you know what you need to do to get your license back? Money. It usually involves money and sometimes a lot of it.
Tickets, because I called the deal well, they said that all.
I wish I could give you some advice.
I thought you might.
If I had a magic solution here on the screen that I could give you, I certainly would. You've contacted Department of Licensing, and it sounds like it's been my experience with the Department of Licensing. Sometimes if you call them 10 different times, get 10 different people to talk to you, you get 10 different answers. So what I would do is just not give up. Don't give up. Don't say the heck with it. I would just keep renewing your inquiry until maybe you get somewhere. If not, I hate to give you this advice. Get a lawyer's help. I hate to give you that advice, but hopefully you won't find yourself in that position. But if you do, that's the way it is.
Why would it pay?
Pardon?
I pay.
Oh, certainly you can. If you don't have to make the minimum payments, yeah. If you want to take care of the whole thing, Mr. Kretzker, I'm glad you're out of your previous difficulty, and now it's time to take care of the other minor difficulties like your license here. It has to be done, and sometimes it gets a little hard to accomplish. But I'm going to wish you the best of luck, and yeah, don't give up. Okay, don't do that. I used to be able to do this a lot quicker just by hand, but the computer tells us what we need to do now. Mr. Kretzker, good luck to you. You take care of yourself. Get a copy of the order at the window outside the courtroom to your left, and good luck to you. Take care. So. How about Eileen Lewis? Good afternoon, ma'am. Yes, there is indeed a lot of that today. You were cited for DWLS 3rd degree on January 26th of this year. Same offense, criminal. Max is 90 and or 1,000. And Mr. Ratfield may have a motion and does in that case. So that means you now have 2 infractions left, no valid operator's license, 2nd degree, and no insurance. Do you admit or deny the infractions? Any questions? It looks like you have a question or so.
Yeah.
So it's the acoustics in here aren't good, and neither is my hearing. I'm not sure I caught all of that. If could you speak up a little bit? They're two separate citations, but we combine them both in the order, so it's a total of 300, and you can pay the whole thing at 25 a month, starting at, you don't have to pay the whole one. It's 300 at 25 a month. Does that answer? It was, I maybe should have made that a little bit clearer at the outset. And when you think you have to pay 25 on one, 25 on the other, no, it's 25 on the whole ball of wax. And of course, do you know what you need to do to get your license reinstated? I'd make that a priority in life. Ms. Lewis, good luck to you. Thank you for appearing. Thank you for your patience. You have a good day. Okay, is Caden Long in the courtroom? Caden Long. That's not a surprise. How about Eric Olson? Good afternoon, sir. Is it Eric Avery Olson? Mr. Olson, you were cited as well. Driving license suspended, revoked, 3rd degree. The criminal offense, which I believe is now an infraction of no valid operator's license, 2nd degree. That being an infraction, you admit it or deny it. If you admit it, it's 150. Again, if you deny it, you are entitled to a contested hearing, which we can have at a later date. Any questions? Do you admit or deny? 150 it is. Order is signed. That takes care of the matter. And again, that's goes without saying. What I'd like you to do is make getting relicensed a project. Good luck to you. How about Elias David Pettit? Elias Pettit in the courtroom? I don't see him. How about Leroy Reyes? Mr. Reyes, good afternoon. How are you? Well, life goes on. Mr. Reyes, you were cited. DWS, 3rd degree. Here we are again. City, I assume, has the same motions. Mr. Reyes, you're getting the bite of this apple as well. Do you admit or deny? That's
Finally found out what's needed.
oh, perfect. That was, yeah, now that's sometimes getting the answer can be the hardest part of it. Mr. Reyes, I'm signing the I've signed the order. You can pick up a copy of that at the window. It's good to see you again. I'm sure you're not glad to see me again, but hey, that's the way things work out. Good luck to you, and hopefully you'll be reinstated before too long at all. Perfect. May it be forthcoming. Take care of yourself. Well, I will too. Sean, Ray Bauman. Fidel Rodriguez. Does not answer. Cyrus Rosnick. Good afternoon, sir. Full name Cyrus, middle initial J, Rosnick. Mr. Rosnick, the citation once again is dated January 28th, 2024, and alleges that on that day you committed the offense of criminal trespass, second degree. Once again, by now, I've got to tell you again, it's a simple misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction would be 90 days in jail and or a $1,000 fine. Okay. Now, this is something you need to discuss with your attorney. I am going to appoint Mr. Haverco to represent you in this matter. He'll enter a plea on your behalf, but the question I can't address that at this time. You need to talk to Mr. Haverco about.
Stipulate to probable cause, Your Honor, ask the court to enter a not guilty plea. Go ahead.
Mr. Rosnick, what I'm going to remind you is on your multiple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other cases, you have a total of 450 days of suspended jail time. How many months is that? Can you count that high? I'm not sure I can.
A lot.
Now, look, that's,
Can you look up your number? So, 2, 5, 2, 5, 14. Oh, okay, 14. So 0, 9, 14.
Mr. Rosnick, that's
You need to sign right here.
conditions of release are always law-abiding behavior. Doesn't do any good to put you in jail, but please don't leave me no other choice.
Really didn't.
We'll deal with that later. But go ahead if Mr. Haverco has your contact information. That concludes the matter.
Yep, free to go.
Mr. Rosnick, good luck. How about John Shedd? John Shedd in the courtroom? Good afternoon, sir. John Lauren Shedd. And Mr. Shedd, your citation is one you've heard referenced many, many times today. Driving license suspended, revoked, third degree on January 21st. Now the city is amending that to no valid operator's license. That's once again, an infraction. If you admit, it's 150. If you deny, you get a contested hearing. You're entitled to that. Any question about the process? Admit or deny? Admit. It's 150. And of course, the same question I ask every, do you know what you need to do to reinstate? That's, I'd make that a project in life. So, signing the order. And I'll tell you as well, any problem, you have a problem making the payments on the fine, let us know. We can deal with that. If it's ignored, it just goes to the Department of Licensing and then you're back to square one anyway. Don't want to go there. Sign the order electronically, get a copy of the order and good luck to you. Take care. How about Jebediah Stecker. Does not respond. How about Nicholas Tajon? Tajon. How about Matthias Teachin? Good afternoon, sir. Is your full name Matthias, middle initial R, Teachin? Citation alleges in honor about January 24th, 2024, you committed the offense of assault in the 4th degree, domestic violence. That is what they call a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction to be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'm going to appoint Mr. Haverco to represent you in this matter, and he'll enter a plea on your behalf at this time. Mr. Haverco?
Thank you, Your Honor. Would stipulate to probable cause, ask the clerk to enter a not guilty plea.
Mr. Teachin, a plea of not guilty preserves your rights. Conditions of release, law-abiding behavior, stay out of trouble, and no contact with Jason Miller. Does that pose a problem?
I was wondering if I could get my restraint.
Pardon? They are. What do you think? It's under your roof. It's under your roof. Sometimes I amend a.
I think it should be going on.
If you're recommending that no contact, what I attempted to do, and I'll do sometimes is amend it from no contact to no hostile contact. Is that so ordered? It's now no hostile contact. Mr. Teachin, the brothers, I have 7 brothers. 6 of them are still alive. The miracle that I outlived them all. But yeah, brothers get into it sometimes, and that's what happens. But hey, fences get mended too. So, but your attorney, Mr. Haverco, has entered a plea of not guilty on your behalf. Pretrial on February 29th, 2024. And your parents and your brother putting in a great word for you will go a long way towards helping you with the matter. Mr. Teachin, thank you for appearing. Thank you for your patience. You take care of yourself and good luck to you. We'll see you back here at the end of the month. Thank you for appearing. That's Brian Smith. Mr. Smith, good afternoon. Good to see you. That's it. Hey, anytime. Glad to do that. I'm glad to see somebody show up. I think I've been promised about 1 million times that somebody I will not fail and then never hear from them again. Anyway, your full name is Brian Smith. You were cited back on August 2nd of 2022. DWS, driving a license suspended, revoked, secondary, gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. What I'll do is appoint Mr. Haverco to represent you, and he'll enter a plea on your behalf at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would stipulate to probable cause and ask the court to enter a not guilty plea.
Mr. Smith, a plea of not guilty is entered on behalf of yourself. We're gonna set the matter for a pretrial on February 29th at 11 o'clock in the morning. Conditions of release or don't drive unless licensed and insured. I have to learn how to use that refresh button.
And do you have a phone number?
Yeah, Mr. Smith, you may have picked up on that. Our really only interested in cases like this is let's get you reinstated. That's.
Check this out. 564 34 220. 9, better 9. 928.
Mr. Smith, thank you for your patience. You take care and again, get a copy of today's order at the window outside and to your left, and we'll see you back here at the end of the month. Take care. Jenny Underwood. How about Danielle Weaver? Good afternoon, ma'am. Full name Danielle Levita Weaver. Citation alleged on honor about January 26, 2024. You committed the offense, excuse me, of theft, third degree. That charges what they call a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction would be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'll appoint Mr. Avico to represent you. He'll enter a plea on your behalf at this time,
I think Your Honor would stipulate to probable cause, ask the court to enter not guilty plea.
which preserves your rights, Ms. Weaver. We're going to set the matter for a pretrial. February 29th at 10 o'clock. You'll have a copy of the order, have the court date and time on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Sign. Go.
Ms. Weaver, thank you. Again, don't forget to get a copy of the order at the window outside and to your left. Thank you for appearing. Sir, you must,
Oh, if we could take up the matter, Mr. Tate.
we certainly can.
Mr. Tate, come
Well,
on
Mr.
up.
Tate, come on.
He was late on the 11
That's
o'clock
right.
calendar. I have an opportunity to review the report, and I had a discussion with the city. I think the city may have a motion. This is a case, Your Honor, where upon reviewing the report, other than some less than just slightly less, not much, but slightly less than perfect FSTs, the portable breath test was 0.014. And the breath test at the police station and the Draeger unit was 0.008. It was about approximately 1/10 of the legal limit. So I reviewed it and I was kind of scratching my head and.
I remember scratching my head about
Yeah,
that.
so anyway, so I just didn't appear to be a DUI, and thankfully the city agrees.
I'm looking for somebody to prepare a motion and put it in the,
You need is there a what's that? Oh, okay. Looks like we dismissed him. You're free. He moved to dismiss Judge Brandon, so you can wait to hear him say it, or you can just go.
okay, good.
It's gone. Okay.
Mr. Tate, I want to thank you for your patience here. I'm bringing up and will sign an order of dismissing the case. And again, I have no explanation for it. I've seen citations issued on a breathalyzer that low in the past, and maybe the officer had some suspicion about who knows? I could guess, but to what avail?
Maybe it's honestly, maybe really he confused the number of zeros.
That could be. That could be, yeah, I'm
Right,
pretty
so-
easily confused myself. Mr. Tate, I want to thank you for your patience. You've been waiting here for quite a while, but you couldn't get a better result. You couldn't get a better result. So you take care of yourself. And if you want a copy of the order of dismissal for your records, yeah, you can get one at the window.
Take care.
Thank you. I remember. We can at this time, Mr. White. We're back on record. I'm gonna call, Yelm versus Renee Phyllis Fox. Take that matter now. Good afternoon, ma'am. Is your full name Renee Phyllis Fox? Citation I have alleged that on or about January 9th, 2024, you committed the offense of violating the terms and conditions of a, no contact order. It's a gross misdemeanor. The maximum penalty on conviction to be 364 days in jail and or a $5,000 fine. I'm going to turn to your attorney to enter a plea on your behalf at this time. We have not guilty is entered. Conditions of release are law-abiding behavior. Don't violate any no contact orders is included in that. We'll set the matter for a pretrial conference. Mr. White, that would, we have court February 15th, 29th, March 14th. What works? 29th, sure. Ms. Fox, we're going to set your pretrial for the 29th of February, 9 o'clock in the morning. Take care of yourself. The other condition of release is stay in contact with your attorney and appear for court as directed. Any questions at all? Absolutely, absolutely. I always, if nobody specifically references the statute, I always ask, are you in contact with your client? And if you are, that's no problem, no reason to, sure. Thank you, Mr. White. I'll sign the, I'm currently editing, which means I have to press a button a couple of times. Ms. Fox, we get a copy of today's order for you and your attorney at the window outside the courtroom to your left. Good luck to you. Thank you for your patience, and you take care of yourself. See you back here at the end of the month. And what that's we want, if Ms. Fox is going to appear in person, we want her in person, but you may appear by Zoom if you wish, in that case. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, let's put the Zoom info in the order. As well. Just necessitate it. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah. I'm a cyber dinosaur. That's Zoom information is now included. And Ms. Fox, I noticed you were very patient here, but I want to remind you that if you want a good lawyer, get a busy one. There's a lot that aren't busy and there's a reason for that. Okay. You take care of yourself. See you back here. Hey, no problem. No problem. Mr. White, take care. Call the 2:30 contested hearing calendar. First matter on the docket is Aaron Edelman. Mr. White is here on behalf of the infractionee. I assume there's some motion. Motion is well taken. Motion granted. Motion granted. I'll sign an order to that effect. Preparing one now. Maybe erase the $50. Is that stuck there? Okay, that's what we'll. There's something we can't erase on there, but the dismiss box is checked. And you waive your client's presence. Right? Right. The signed, and that can, this way you can get a copy of that at the window out front. Take care, stay safe, see you next time. You as well. It's not quite 2:30 yet, but I'm willing to hear your matter. Sir, you were here, I think, first. Your name is? Ms. Martinez Baker, you were cited with a couple of different things, and you're here for a hearing as well, and you are? Both of you have asked for a contested hearing. I want to, before we go to a hearing, which you're entitled to, and if we do, the city has to prove by a preponderance of the evidence that you committed the infraction you were cited for. You also have a right to what they call a deferral. I know from the docket you're both eligible for that. A deferral is a way of winning without going to a hearing. It's a way of keeping it off your record. If you do a deferral, every court does it differently. What I do it is reset the matter, continue it for a period of 4 months. If during those 4 months you attend traffic safety school, that is something that's done online for a cost of, I believe, either $30 or $40, $40 or $45, and remain infraction free. The costs to us of doing it, do I assess $150? That's what I usually do. A $150 would be the price for us. You don't pay anything on the ticket, but the cost of the deferral is $150. At the end of the 4 months, if you file proof that you did the traffic safety school and no further infractions appear on your record, the ticket is dismissed. Does not go on your record. Mr. Martinez Baker, you were here first. Come on up and have a seat. First of all, any question about anything I just said? What do you wish to do? Go to a hearing? The hearing consists of me reading the officer's affidavit and then listening to what you have to say and then deciding whether the city has proved whether or not you were speeding by a preponderance of the evidence. In a criminal case, your guilt has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, but this is a civil matter, so it's simply which way the scales tilt. Any questions about anything I've said so far? What would you like to do? What now? Oh yeah, that's it. To me, the important thing is you did have it in effect, not if you showed them the wrong thing. I've done that. That's That's how about that, if you had insurance on that date and in effect, yeah, I'll simply dismiss that with, if you didn't, show them the wrong one, it's a $25 cost and dismiss. But yeah, gosh, it's a 500. It used to be 550, but it's gone up to 559. But yeah, if you did have insurance, how about the other two, speeding and, expired registration? You just want to get those, mitigated?
I don't even know how fast.
Like I said, you were going, 13 over, and what I'd be willing to do is reduce the, that's 176, reduce that to 125. The registration, have you taken care of the registration, yet?
Yeah.
Let's reduce that from 237 to 125 as well, and then 25 for the dismissed, insurance ticket, and call it good. Okay, good enough?
Yes.
I've driving a car is very likely the most dangerous thing you're ever going to do. Always a good idea to, yeah, get there late, get there safely. Yeah, it still adds up to 275, which you can pay at 25 a month. First payment due March 1st. 275 is still a chunk, but, it's better than 972. That 25 a month, it's just the minimum. You pay whatever, as long as you're paying at least 25 a month, you can pay the whole thing right now if you wanted to, but, there's no interest on it, so that's up to you. If you want, you can pay. If you want to pay something today, you can pay something, but you don't have to pay anything until March 1st. That'd be a 25 payment. Oh, you can get a copy of that, make a payment and get a copy of it, or just get a copy of it at the window outside the courtroom to your left. What I might indicate is, some judges are really big about hats. It doesn't matter to me, but yeah, some courts you get a dues judge may bite you a little bit for, take your hat off, but it doesn't matter to me. It's fine. But just say that. Any questions at all? Take care of yourself, get a copy of the order today, and happy motoring. Take care. Ms. Engelmeyer, come on up. If you have moral support or somebody with you, they're free to come up and as well if they want to. Maybe you'd rather sit back there. I don't know. But ma'am, you were cited for, it looks like, speeding and no insurance. Now you likewise are entitled to do a deferral. I don't know if you were listening when I explained that. Any question about that at all? If you want to go to a contested hearing, you can. And, or you can mitigate it, which means you want me to reduce the amount of the ticket. You what now? Did you have insurance at the time you were cited, or you got it since? Oh, your policy wouldn't cover. Usually insurance does cover a substitute vehicle, but if you're living together, that where it covers anything you happen to be driving, that's good. How about the speeding ticket? What do you want to? You'd be entitled to defer that. you are entitled to defer that, which would be a way of keeping it off your record. You- Pardon? Okay. Let me review give me a moment here. Having reviewed the citation, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to dismiss the speeding ticket. And I will find that you didn't have insurance on the date and time in question, but $559 is way too much, so I'm going to reduce that to $150. And the payments on that will be $25 a month. Insurance is, it's an expense. But man, if you need it, you sure need it. It's one of those things that not having insurance when you need it causes just incredible problems. Signing an order to that effect. First payment of $25 would be due March 1st. Everything is done electronically now. Ms. Engelmeyer, any questions? Oh, that concludes the hearing. Get a copy of today's order at the window outside the courtroom to your left, and good luck to you. Thank you for your appearing and thank you for your patience. That leaves us Jacob Williams Wake. It's early. Going back on record for the 1 o'clock no-shows. Actually, the first one I have would be, docket number 8. Page 10, Daniel Ford cited with DWS third, amend that to no vault second degree and FTA. Are you here for court? And you're, Mr. Chapman. Mr. Chapman, everybody's gone here. That's what we did. I ordered a warrant for your arrest, but since you are here now, let's give you a notice to reappear. Let's try the next court date, which would be February 15th. Okay. Is this something we can mail to them or? Oh, okay. Okay, it'll be at the window. Go ahead and get it at the window. Hey, hey, Mr. Chapman, you too. Mr. Chapman did show up. We're just simply resetting him to the, that's Mr. Chapman right behind you, your client. We're resetting him to February 15th, Daniel. Mr. Chapman, stay in touch with that guy. Daniel Ford. And next one I have after that is Hayden Long. With docket number 26, the new charge, assault in the 4th degree, find probable cause for that. Good. Warrant for her arrest, 2,500 cash or bond. And just calendar the compliance case along with that. The next ones have her 29 and 30. Elias Pettit. That's previously been warranted. Found probable cause on those earlier occasions. 1,000 cash or bond each. And after that, docket number 32, Sean Ray Bauman, probable cause for trespass, criminal trespass, 2nd degree, 1,000 cash or bond. On Fidel, Adrian Rodriguez, I reviewed that again and again found probable cause for the assault 4th degree DD case against Shanna Squally, 2,500 cash. Then with regard to docket numbers 36 and 37, amend each of those to no vault 2 and FTA to the DOL. On Jenny Underwood, I do find probable cause for the issuance to her on November 15th, criminal trespass 1st degree and theft 3rd, 2,500 cash or bond. And unless I missed somebody, Donnie, I think that's it.